experience that we had in Mexico, with Mexico and Alma here. I think that Alma, next, follow me, will talk a little bit more about what Mexico is doing for the telecenters. But basically what happened was that about 2 years ago in Latin America, part of my job is to try to increase the internet ecosystem in the region. So increase the internet ecosystem in the region means to bring more people online, to bring more small and medium business online, and make it useful, make the internet useful for those people, for the business people and for the end users. And trying to reach the end users, one of the things that we find out was this project called Telecenters that was available across globally, specifically as well as in Latin America. And talking with our partners, we found out that in Mexico, in general, they have a very good and impressive structure focused on telecenters. So we started to explore this in 2 years ago, and last year we implemented the project to train end users on Google Tools. So basically, the funny thing is that when we start to think about what kind of content we can provide to those users to make the internet more useful for them. And of course, I didn't understand nothing about telecenters at that time. And the first thing that I thought was, okay, why don't we start with professional content, right? So how you can do online advertisement, how you can do web analytics, and how you can do a lot of other things that are more related to the professional people that use the internet. Because in our minds, this would give the chance to the majority of those people to start a more consistent career at using the internet. Of course that this was a big mistake, right? We just realized and talking to the people that the end users from the telecenters, they are so far away, at least in Latin America, they are so far away from this reality that it wouldn't make any sense for us to try to talk about this. So the next try was, okay, instead of going professional, let's try to go to the middle and let's start to talk about the clouds on the internet. So how to use the cloud and benefit of your usage, of the internet usage. And again, we just realized that this was, again, so far away from the reality of the end users in Latin America. And then we just realized that what the mass of the people need is information about the basic of the internet. What is internet? What is a browser? Because in general, people confuse browser with the internet. I saw many times people open a browser and say, this is the internet. They have no idea about what's internet. How to do search. They didn't know how to do search. And how to use social network. About basic security concepts. About how to create a strong password and these kind of things. So we decided to use this content, internet, to start with internet basics, to teach them, to teach the mass of the people about what is internet. And the approach that we used was, so we did a partnership with Mexico, and the idea was, in Mexico they call the telecenters operators as promoters. So the idea was to train the promoters on internet basics, and those promoters would train the end users on this knowledge, on this new knowledge for them. Of course, we didn't want just to create them, we didn't want just to provide them knowledge and just move away. We would like to keep a relationship with them. We would like to create a online community with them, because that's the only way that we can see that people will keep using this knowledge. If we just go there and provide them training and just move away, they will just stop. Probably they will not keep using this knowledge. So we also decided to empower and keep them engaged with these online communities. So basically, the idea was I think that we were able to train more than 1,000 of promoters, telecenters operators, across 100 cities from Mexico, So the approach that we used with the partnership with IMEC was we brought those promoters to different cities across the country, and Google sends to those cities Googlers. That's the way that we call people that work at Google. So we send Googlers to those cities to train them. And we also expand this. We also would like to give the opportunity to the university students to have the chance to interact with this reality. So the teachers of the trainings were Googlers, and the teacher assistant of the trainings were university students. So we had more than 30 Googlers involved in these trainings and more than 70 university students involved as well on those trainings. We also empower them. We provide them, actually the SCT provides them a certification of accomplishments. And of course, we would like to empower them. We would like to show them, hey, you are doing something that's very important. We also have some videos of the SCT. And I think that's, based on the picture that you can see here, we're very glad to have the opportunity to have this training. And one of the things that we did, and we are still doing, was to create an online community. So what we did was we use our social platform, Google+, and we invite those promoters from the Telecenters to join this online platform to be able to keep the relationship with Google. For two main things, for two main reasons. One, to keep teaching them about the internet basics, and to be able to provide new trainings to those promoters. For example, we are having trainings about more professional contents that it's very clear for us that it's just part of those promoters that they have interest in these professional trainings. And we also would like to interact with end users. So as you can see here, on the left you have our online community where the promoters can interact with Google. We also have in the middle, what you have is that we have a free platform, a free video conference platform that we use to provide training to promoters. So this is in the middle of the picture. So we have a Googler, this is Julio in the middle, the big screen here, and he's teaching, I think that he's teaching on this example security, internet security. And those guys below are the promoters from Mexico that are learning about this. And one of the things that we did is that we decided to expand this. We decided to go up to the end users from those telecenters. So now that we have this free platform, this free video platform that everybody can use, why don't we try to reach the end users? Why don't Google can try to reach the end users? So we invited those promoters and say, hey, why don't you guys organize on your telecenter a training that will be made by Google to your end users? And a lot of promoters, they said, okay, let's do it. And at the end of this last image here, it was one of the trainings that we did for kids that Google explained about security for kids. Right? It was a training organized by the promoters from the telecenters, and what Google did was, the only thing that we did was we jumped to this video conference and we provide the training. So this is a way that we understand that we can scale this, because what we are doing right now is that we are doing classes and we are inviting them to join these classes so we can provide those trainings to all those end users at the same time. So what was the results? So far we had 50,000 of end users trained in 2012. This is the map of promoters that we trained in Mexico. Of course, that we were able to do this because of Mexico. All those points here, this means that there is a telecenter made by Mexico on these cities. And we would like to train more than 100,000 of end users in this year. So next steps and no issues. We are developing our certification program. It will be a free certification program for internet basics. We will start with internet basics. So the idea is that everybody will be able to do an online exam and get this certification for free. And we also would like to, when we develop as well a certification of completion to trainers, right? Because we are also teaching the trainers how to train. So this is one of the information that we understood from our experience, that the majority of those trainers, they never went formal training about how to train people. What are the techniques that you can use to train end users? We also would like to expand this, so we don't want to be just medical. We would like to be a global project. So that's why we are here, because we would like to expand this project in a global level. So we are talking to Telecenters.org and we are talking with the managers of the networks here, just to try to understand and to have a better sense about what are kind of things we can do on a global level, that Google can do on a global level to reach those end users. What are the needs and what is the approach that we can use? So basically, one of the things that we realized that the way that we did in Mexico is impossible to scale. Right? It's really expensive for Google and it was expensive for America, so it doesn't make sense for us to try to expand, to scale on to try to go globally with this approach. So basically, it's personal trainers approach is how to scale. One of the things that we are thinking to do, and I would love to get feedback from you, it's about moving to virtual training. Does it make sense? Does it make sense for us to try to do virtual training to the operators of the telecenters? Or should we go to a personal trainer training using different approach? We don't know, we don't have an answer for that yet. Does it make sense for us to create an online community in Google+? And I think that the most important question is how to educate new trainers with no initial internet knowledge. So one of the things that we realized, not just in Mexico, but in Colombia and in other countries, that many of those telecenters operators, they don't know the internet. So how we can, if we decide to go on a virtual training, how can we train them about internet if they don't know how to use internet? So how we can connect them to, for example, this with this online platform that's on the internet. So it's hard for us. And how to scale globally. So those are the questions that I have, that I hope to get at least some answers here. And this is what I have. Thank you.